Right, well, I don't know why. Perhaps it's something built into this particular video recording system that the video stops, the sound keeps going after a certain time. But I got to the point when I was talking about actually playing around with the tune a bit, and there are a lot of very simple techniques you can do. I started doing these specifically when I played for Morris outside, because I realised that you're competing with a lot of background noise and also wind and the distance, and sound just get lost outside. So the more noise you can make, musical noise of course, the better. And the way you shouldn't do that is to squeeze the bellows harder, because that will just wreck the instrument. If many people are really hard on the bellows of their instrument and they really drag them around, and it should be almost, these are almost indestructible, the bellows for a Melodeon, but you can damage them if you really want to, if you go for it. The worst thing is they wear at the back on a belt buckle or something like that. But you don't want to be getting more volume simply by hammering the bellows and squeezing and pulling really hard, because you will blow the reeds out the end of the instrument. So we don't want to do that. What we try and do is to get more reeds working at the same time, and that means you get more volume and it gives more impact as well. It goes along with giving the gaps in the music, is to have silence and then make a louder sound, and that has more impact. So what I often do with that tune is, when I'm playing, what I'm doing is holding the two adjacent notes. So I'm playing, a two-note chord. That means on this instrument I've got 6 reeds sounding instead of only 3. So it's bound to be a bit louder. So that's a simple technique. And I'm doing it now I'm doing it unconsciously. I do it all the time. I did it there. Still keeping it very crisp. And then another technique is the octave there. That's what I said about the little finger, how important the little finger is. At the end I'm putting the low G and the high G at the same time. Now, it's almost unnoticeable. You can only, because it's a pure octave, but it adds to the volume and the effect a lot. Now, I completely screwed that up because I was trying too hard. I mustn't try to. So try and hear where those chords are coming in. I say it's a very simple technique, but you've got 4 fingers. Why are you only using one of them? You've got another finger next to it. So let's just try a little technique of playing a scale on chords. So it's very tricky. That's the tricky bit, the swap over bit, where you've got to go. That doesn't work. You've got to jump from there to there. You do have to watch it with chording, that you don't make the music sludgy again. So it's a tricky one, but it's worth doing, and even if you only pick it up in 1 or 2 key places. You're still adding to the volume there, okay? So that's something to play around with, is trying to add in some chords, still keeping it crisp. And that chord I am actually using across the double pull. I'm safe on the squeeze. There. This is no go. It's the only discord on the Melodeon. Don't go for that one. That's why we had to go. You can't go. Doesn't work. But we can go. We can do anything we like. Use other fingers. Let them tap down onto the keyboard. So let's just try play. And the other thing you can do is to start playing around with the tune a bit. Now, the beauty of playing for Morris is you know you're going to be playing the tune for quite a long time, and you're going to be playing the same tunes week after week after week after week. And the reason I started doing different things with them, one was to get volume, and the other was because I simply got bored with playing the same tune exactly the same way all the time. And so you experiment. So let's try playing and see what happens. Start simply. Before we go on, I talked about being first position of Melodeon, starting on button 3. One of the tips is that if you are actually going to reach for that button up there, don't reach for it, move the whole hand up. One button. Didn't come across quite right, but I know what I'm doing, all right? I actually do move my hand up at one point to second position. Try and watch and see when I do that. Let's try again. There. And back down. Very quietly. Loud. listen to that, not all of it works, and I'm not really bothered whether it works or not, so long as the tune is keeping rolling along. Most of the time you won't get discords happening with other people because you're all playing the same tune. So those are just some ways that we try and beef up the tune. And I think what I'll do is in the next one, I will use the same tune and we'll look at some other things you can do with it. Because so far we've only stuck to one row. And the beauty of a Melodeon is it has another row set next to it, in which there are loads of duplicated notes or useful notes that we can pick up on. And some people play Melodeons the whole time across the rows. It sounds awful. It sounds like an accordion, I think. Anyway, that's my view. But there's a lot of times when using the cross-rowing technique can actually just add something to music. So we'll look at that another time. So that's it for now, folks. Have fun.